Hey, what's up, guys? Let me see if this is even working. Hold on. I gotta watch this on my phone because I don't even know if the sound is correct. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it to work. Oh, it works really good. Okay. Awesome. Actually works really well. So you guys ever watch, if you ever watch, we're gonna make pizza. We're making French braid pizza. You guys ever watched like a mobster movie, like a violent mobster movie? Like a Martin Scorsese like movie. It's a a spin-off of, mob stories, some of which might be true, some of which might be exaggerated, right? But if you ever watch a movie like that, what happens is you see like a lot of physical violence, intimidation, like in your face. It's like it's right there. There's a lot of bravado talking up in your face, right? Well, what I'm talking about today is something called psychological warfare. So, in the real world now, like a military tactic or a government tactic would be if they find somebody that they feel might be a threat, or if somebody in a position of power, government doesn't like what someone has said, maybe someone had some form of way to make money, possibly fraudulently, right? So what they'll do is if somebody says something about it, someone speaks the truth about it, instead of like in a movie, instead of like physically harming this person, instead of physically intimidating this person, physically attacking this person, instead of being up in your face, bravado, what they'll do is they'll use some sort of psychological warfare tactics. Some people call it gang stalking. Now, let me get working on this pizza. So, what they'll do is they'll use money, resources, and power to basically destroy somebody's life. Okay, so it's a really good tactic too because what they'll do is, or I should say it like this: on the outside looking in, it appears that somebody's life is falling apart. Somebody's life is going down the wrong path. Like they just had a string of bad luck or they made a series of bad decisions. But what's actually going on is that a group of people are collaborating in the shadows to make this person's life slowly deteriorate and fall apart. So they're actually doing it on purpose to try and get a reaction out of this person. So let's say, and there's videos on this, and I can play a couple videos too. Let's say, for example, the United States government believes that this person is a terrorist. Okay, let's say for whatever reason. Okay, they just say, okay, this person's a terrorist. So what they'll do is they'll have people follow this person's life financially, follow this person's life, romantically, find out, about their family, their love interest, right? And what they'll start to do is tamper with it and see if they get a reaction out of it. See if they can get this person to show that they are this person that they allegedly believe this person to be. Now, imagine this happens to somebody who isn't actually guilty of doing this and they're subjected to this. Hold on one second. I'm still here. I'm still here, guys. You're going to like this. You might find this interesting. Let's see what I can pull up for you guys here. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, here we go. I got to come here and yes. So let's look at this a little bit. I'm going to start working on this pizza too. You know what I mean?
What exactly can the government do to him, to any of us? What exactly can the government do to him, to any of us? Whether we're on the
former
watch list
FBI
or not.
agent from National Geographic.
As a journalist,
I'll let you guys listen
my
to
first hunch is to go straight to the source. Michael German is a former FBI agent who has experience with the terrorism watch list. What is the internal designation given to people who are on that watch list? Known or suspected terrorist. Do you need to be a known or suspected terrorist to be given that designation?
No, you do not. There's plenty of evidence that people who were put on these lists were investigated for no reasons. So you're building this expanding pool of suspects based on little or no real evidence.
What are the most extreme things that can happen to you if you end up in that system?
There's so little transparency that we don't know all the ways that the watch list might be used. So from a deprivation of rights standpoint, there's a lot you could lose.
Let's say I'm an American citizen. I get taken into secondary screening. Surely I have Fourth Amendment protections, right?
Not at the border. Anything coming across the border could be contraband, and therefore the government has a right to search it without a warrant.
The agents that take me to secondary screening have the authority to read the contents of my emails or my text messages.
And not just read them, but put them in a database for other agents across the intelligence community to read them. All of that information can be collected when you cross the border.
So I think a lot of people are not aware of this. What you're saying then is that at least some of our constitutional protections don't exist when we're in a border crossing or an airport coming back from abroad.
Right. You might try going to the airport tomorrow and seeing how you do.
So let's say for example, like in that mobster movie I gave you guys an example of. So in a mobster movie, if somebody does something, right, or someone allegedly does something, someone's going to give someone this information. Oh yeah, this person did this. We need to react. We need to respond in this way. But what if somebody didn't actually do anything? What if somebody stumbled upon something? And the thing that they stumbled upon might have uncovered a bigger secret, conspiracy, money laundering, whatever, some fraudulent activity, right? And this person separates himself from it. But some of the individuals decide that they want to use these type of tactics to target someone to make them appear a certain way, maybe for an upcoming court case. Maybe they just want to be narcissists. They just want to destroy somebody's life. Maybe because they actually believe that this person has done this thing that they need to be investigated, right? So what would happen is that the person who initiates this would work with other people behind the scenes, people with military rankings, government, power, money, for whatever reason, okay? It's just the world that we live in. And they would work together to destroy this person's life. Now, if this person were to react to it, it would come across that they were crazy. And that's what that FBI agent was talking about. He's like, there's no real gray area as to who could be or could not be put on that list. So, is it possible that it's happened to you or happened to me? Of course. That's why I'm talking about it right now. And if any of you want to speculate what you might have done in your life or what might happen in your life, so that someone from an organization or affiliation that you don't know, or maybe you do know, and maybe you have an idea who you know, but you can't really speak about it, because if you speak about it, they'll say, "Oh, that's an accusation," right? Because you don't have any proof. That's why this is like a psychological a tactic used to destroy people's lives. Like what you do is you do it behind the scenes. So people who can control your finances, people who can control, who can have access to your cell phone, people who can, like he said, read your emails, read your messages, they can go in and they can say, okay, we're going to tamper with this person's life. We'll tamper with their personal relationships. We'll tamper with their finances so that they can't meet their objectives. So like, for example, if we really were talking about someone who's planning a terrorist attack against the United States, right? That's why they would do that. It makes sense. It's like, yeah, well, we're going to mess up their finances, their relationships, so that like their plans don't come to fruition. But what if somebody uses this as a way to just psychologically torture somebody, an innocent person, someone who didn't do anything, but maybe they did something that exposed some sort of criminal activity or enterprise, and this is someone with power. So what they do is they say, okay, we're going to put this person on this list just to destroy and temper their life. We're going to knock things down in their life. We're going to destroy things in this person's life just to watch them to react, just to, have like that narcissistic control, someone who's in finance, someone who maybe is like a Navy SEAL. And I'm not even talking about like U.S. government stuff. This could be, any government or any group of organized power, cartel, whatever, it could be anything, right? So what if they just do this for fun? What if they just do this to harm somebody? And there's many examples of this on YouTube, and it makes you wonder, how do you react to it? Because, like I said, it's a very, very crafty technique. It's very, very intelligent, because if you respond to it negatively, or if you react to it, they win because you'll look crazy. And then they can say, oh, this person's crazy, and they can discredit you. Or if there's, like I said, if there's a court case coming up, it'll make you seem like you are out of control. You're not in control of your life. You can't control your relationship. You can't control your finances. People will go as far as to turn your own family against you. Pay people money to follow you around, attack you, say, you're crazy, attack you in the street. And you'll be thinking, wow, man, what's going on? Like, why is this all happening to me? And it's because you're part of some sort of program where you're being monitored and stalked and watched and possibly gang stalked. Now, if it was something that was actually, threatening to the innocence of human beings in the United States, for example, because that's the country I'm from, yes, you know what I mean? I can see why this would be an effective war tactic, but there's numerous examples online of people saying that it's been used against them and they're a victim of some sort of narcissistic abuse, Let me get back to the pizza. I'm going to play you guys this. You can listen to this. Listen to this when I make you guys this bread pizza. You can tell me what you think about this one. This will kind of make it sound a little bit more clear,
Exactly.
This will sound a little bit more clear.
Okay. We're going to hop into it and see what I get for y'all.
Let's make this French bread pizza, though.
My angels,
pretty
my
good.
guides, my ascended master,
you guys will see
the divine, the universe, the higher power,
yeah.
Archangel Michael, Raphael, Jophiel, Gabriel, Uriel, Metatron, Azrael, and to my ancestors that love and care for me and want the best for me. Please and thank you for the clear, precise, accurate messages I need to deliver to the collective at this time. Let's get it. We're all on different timelines. This could be someone's past, present, future. Flip the roles if need be. Take only what is yours. It's not gender specific. I go by the illustration, the definition, and the energy of the cards. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Join us.
Bread. Okay, I got it in a pan right now, right? Bread. Hoagie, like hoagie bread. You want like a garlic, like spread, okay? Not like the shake on like powdered garlic, like a garlic spread. Pizza sauce, marinara, whatever you want. Pizza sauce, marinara. I prefer pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, and the secret is to use a little bit honey.
Spiritually, you as family, well, I would love to have you. All right. So, there's someone here that thinks that they're more powerful than you. So they think that something's working on you. The attacks they've been sending you, they think it's working on you, not realizing your vibration is keeping you protected. Your ancestors, the universe, and you not believing it's working. That something like that will work on you is definitely protecting you too. So. Somebody's getting ready to realize that they don't have as much power over you or power over you that they think they do. Let me see what's going on here. What's going on with this reading here? I hope I explained that right. Some of y'all are calling your power back, so something's not going to work on you any longer. You're protecting yourself, doing whatever you need to do to keep your vessel protected, your mental, your spiritual body. Here we have the King of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Who's this King of Pentacles? The Death card. Scorpio energy. What is this, Death card? Somebody could be doing death spells. What is this? The Six of Wands. Swords, I'm sorry. What is the Six of Swords? The Ten of Pentacles. Somebody could be trying to mess up your finances here. Some of y'all didn't know how important your stability is to you. You being stable when it comes to finances, having a good job, being able to take care of your family. Somebody knows if they hit that's going to affect you overall. What is this? Some of y'all could be the breadwinner in your family. The Two of Pentacles. Some of y'all, they could be sending a lot at you at this time. Distractions. Some of y'all could be feeling ill. It's like they're trying to send a whole bunch of different things at you to disturb your peace and to affect your life here. What is this Two of Pentacles? I think justice falling for. Hold on. Yep, it's in reverse. Unfairness, lack of accountability, guilt, dishonesty, and punishment. What's this justice in reverse? The Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody's trying to they're trying to mess with your happiness. What makes you happy? A lot of y'all is your stability. Somebody's trying with the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles here. Somebody's definitely trying to affect your finances. The Eight of Cups, yeah, to bring disappointment to you. Some of y'all are calling your power back. Something could have been working on you. What's this Eight of Cups here? What's the Eight of Cups? The Queen of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Libra, Empress. Somebody could be a Libra here, have Libra placements. Justice is Libra Justice is Libra also, so there's heavy Libra energy here. Something is definitely unjust when it comes to your finances. Somebody's been definitely hitting that. What is the Queen of Swords? The King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy. Natural leader, overcoming challenges, visionary, confirmation. This is your energy. The Eight of Wands, yeah, somebody's sending something towards you. They know if they hit one area of your life, it's going to affect the rest of your life. Like other areas, it's going to trickle into. So,
you guys might know of a band called Rage Against the Machine. Obviously, you probably know of a movie called The Matrix. At the very end of that movie, there's a song called "Wake Up" by a band, Rage Against the Machine. And during part of that song, you can obviously just go listen to it on Spotify. The lead singer, Zach De La Rocha, is reading or singing a part of a manuscript written by a CIA director back in the 60s, where it's basically explaining and this is I'm just telling you verbatim what it is, but it's more or less explaining how the CIA has enacted this protocol where this is how it's written, and verbatim too, that basically they need to prevent the rise of a black messiah in American culture. This is around the same time where civil rights movement was going on. I mean, this is not me just expounding and saying this is how I feel about stuff. This is actually factual information. We know that some people have gone through this. We know that some people have been attacked in this way. Some possibly warranted, and other people maybe not as warranted. But it does go to show that there is, like I played you in the first video, there's some form of control there that can be abused. And I make this video now for other people who might have gone through something similar, or might be going through something similar, and they might be feeling, well, what do I do? How to react to this? Because some people's lives can be destroyed by this. And I know some people are worried about abusive government control, or, in this case, I'm playing this video now, like some of this stuff can even just be like exes, like, let's say you dated someone and, they're in the military or a police officer, or they're related to somebody, or they know a lawyer, a probate lawyer, you know what I mean? Or some sort of a judge or something, and they just like, well, I don't like what this person did. Let's all gang up and, on this person, and we'll just systematically like kind of meddle and tamper with their lives. You know what I mean? But the reason I'm making this video is like, what if they do this to people who have like positions where people could be hurt? So like, for many years of my life, I was a truck driver. So like, what if there's evidence of like someone doing this to a truck driver while they're hauling freight for Walmart, or, hauling radioactive material? They have a hazmat endorsement. Like, this stuff happens to people, and it makes you wonder, where's the line, and how do you respond to it? Because you don't want someone to respond to it the wrong way. Someone might not realize what's actually going on. That it's like, oh, you're just being, targeted. And you could also say that, some jobs and corporations target people to see if they're mentally strong enough to do the job. So there has to be some sort of line there that has to be drawn, for people who may not be aware. But this definitely goes on in this day and age with social media, our cell phones. Like, all of this stuff can be, easily hacked into. You just need, a provoking reason. Some official just has to give like the reason to say, yes, we need to monitor this person, and your life could be monitored. But the question is how does someone react? Is someone smart enough to see and realize what's going on? Or are they going to react in a negative way? And is that sometimes why we see so many crazy things happen in the news? Is it really just, oversight, government monitoring? Is it something like that where we have people acting out, violently, or um, not really know what's going on, and actually, going crazy because it's been incited because someone was actually monitoring the life.
If they're hitting your finances, they know that that's going to mess with your mental. Some of y'all, it's going to mess up physical things in your life, losing a car, things happening to your car, bills coming out of nowhere. Every time you get something, you have something saved, or you feel like you're gonna have something saved, something happens and you have to use that money. It's like somebody's trying to mess with your stability because they know it's gonna have you out of alignment in other areas of your life. What's this Eight of Wands energy? The Two of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Some of y'all, your financial issues could be trickling into your love life. So some of y'all feel like you can't date or you don't want to date because your finances are off, especially if you're a man. You could be sort of traditional and old-fashioned to where you want to have stability to be able to date. So some of y'all, it's messing up your love life here. Some of y'all, you can't focus on love because you're focusing on your finances. So then that's out of alignment. Some of y'all, this is causing issues within, your money issues could be causing issues within your union. So somebody here knows that you're in the King of Pentacles energy. They know with this magician energy, this magic, is going to cause towers to you. So we have Gemini and we have Aries here. So somebody is creating towers for your stability. Yep, the Four of Pentacles, to where you have to live check to check. You have to be frugal. You can't really spend money, or you're scared to spend money. You're keeping money close to your chest. Like, this is definitely affecting somebody here. Some of y'all, when you call your energy back and your power, and you know that somebody is not more powerful than you, that you're not going to let this have a hold over your life any longer, and you start protecting yourself spiritually, I feel like that's when you break free of this. But until then, some of y'all, it's going to continue to work on you. You have to elevate your mind when it comes to this and know that whoever is sending this energy to you, they're not more powerful than you. That's why they say sometimes that magic and spell work don't work on you if you don't believe in it. So some of y'all, you just have to change your perspective also, but you still need to protect yourself here. What is this? Some of y'all is like a downward spiral you're in when it comes to finances. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles. Diligence, passion, high standard, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks, manifestation here. Yeah, somebody's going against your finances. So it's like, it doesn't matter how hard you work. It's like work with no like rewards or results. You keep finding yourself back in the same situation financially. Like some of y'all are in a hole. You have a lot of debt or things going on financially. It's going to take a turn for the better. What is this here? Temperance. Just be patient. That's all. Things are balancing out here. Sagittarius energy, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, finding meaning. Yeah, some of y'all gonna be sitting real pretty soon.
So now, the trick is, okay, hold on, let me get that up there. I know it looks like, oh, it's just some bread and some sauce and some cheese, but it's really good if you put the honey in there and with the garlic spread underneath. You know what I mean? Now, we're gonna make it in the air fryer. All right, hold on, I'm coming right back. Wait till you guys see this in 5 minutes. You're gonna say, whoa. Tastes great. So I've noticed some things like this happening in my life since 2017. And over the past year, I actually stopped driving because I realized that I had become really stressed out. I was taking way too much medication, or prescription medication that I had from a doctor to help me stay awake when we were doing night shifts. It was for shift work sleep disorder. And, I got stressed to the point where I started to feel like I was going to have an accident. And, as a truck driver, it's your responsibility to take the safety of others um, into account first. That's what it is. So like if you're a truck driver and you feel like you're unsafe to drive, you feel like psychologically you've been on the road too long and you've been very lonely. You know what I mean? The truck driving is OTR truck driving is, borderline sweatshop work. You're alone. There's no bathroom in your truck. You live inside of a machine. You're always at work. You work 24/7, 365, and you work 168 hours a week. Even though there's a bed in there, right? Sometimes you don't know where you're going to sleep at. It's very tough. It can be very mentally tough. And if you've done it for a while, and by September of last year, I had been at it for about 18 months straight. I was a little bit burnt out. So over the past year, I've really been trying to um, make my own way in the world and really analyzing, what is the direction and the goal of my life? What are the changes I need to make? What are the mistakes that I've made? And during this time, I've also realized that, um, some of the things that might have happened in 2021 and 2022, for those of you who've been watching my channel a little bit longer, I think there's been some things that have been going on in the background. And I've spoken about it a little bit on this channel. And I started to accept it more and more. And there's some things in life that you just can't control, even in the Bible, okay? Do you know the reason why Jesus was crucified by the Romans? Sedition, which is the word sedition is basically, roughly translated, means that you're going against the ideals of the current regime in power, more or less, okay? So the things that you do are changing or swaying people's opinion, and you're making people go against the existing regime. So hey, just we don't like what you're doing or what you're saying because you're swaying people away from our control that we currently have. So um, you know I know there was a Bible reference, but it's one of the things that I actually like about the Bible is that it's interesting that Jesus knew that Judas was going to sell him out. You know what I mean? It's interesting that he knew and he said, well, it doesn't really matter. We still have to eat dinner, at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? More or less is what he said. And that's really kind of the whole basis of what's happened to me over the past year. No matter what happened, no matter the result of my life, no matter, how I pick up from here, no matter where I end up, all of us have to keep going. You have to keep going. And whether or not you had a traumatic event happen to you, or whether or not you had a series of traumatic events happen to you, which all of us do, or whether something actually happened to you that was malicious and very, very foul and evil and coordinated and orchestrated, an organized crime, that was done to you, behind the scenes covertly, so it would make it seem like, oh, it's all in your head, you're imagining it. It doesn't matter. You have to go forward. You have to go forward with your life. And me coming to that realization has really brought me like a sense of like inner peace, because we all have those tragedies. I'll give you another example. Pizza should be ready soon too. Michael Jordan, okay, someone we all know, right? His father passed away. He was murdered, I believe. His father was murdered. And for 2 years, Michael Jordan went and he played baseball. Completely threw his life off track. His course, he had just won 3 championships as a basketball player. He went and played baseball for 2 years. Just threw him completely off track. And then eventually he worked through it and he went back to playing basketball, what he was supposed to do. He won 3 more championships. But what I'm saying is that all of us have our tragedies in life. All of us have our misfortunes, things that bother us, things that might, shake us and really like knock us down. And it's true, it may be something that was maliciously done to you. It may be your mind trying to work through a series of traumatic events. It may be. The point is, though, is that you keep going. Jesus still went to the Last Supper, still went to dinner. Judas came too, and Michael Jordan eventually got back to playing basketball. And it's the same thing in my life. You have to continue and you have to move forward. And, whether you resonate or you feel like some of the stuff that I played tonight, if it struck a nerve with you, if you feel like, yes, that's what's going on in America right now, if you feel like that's something that's happened to you, then okay. If you feel like, hey, sounds like you've just been through a traumatic event, and, you have some things going on in your life. And, it seems like, getting back to yourself and figuring out what's going to be best for you in the future, and getting yourself back on track is the best course of action, then I understand and I respect both of those opinions. I do. The truth is that it's only real to you, whatever you believe in your mind to be real. And as far as I can see, I can firmly say that I believe it's both. I think that now in 2025, especially with our phones, definitely with our phones, and with the way that we have access to people's lives and the things that get put into our head from doom scrolling, the way that we have to interact with technology and the news and like social events, I think it really creates a PTSD, psychological stress on all of our minds and all of our lives. I'm not just talking about me. And it can make your mind play tricks on you. It can also be extreme monitoring, government control of people's lives, just like the Matrix. Someone trying to make things happen behind the scenes in your life to force you to be the person that the government or your handler wants you to be, as they would say in like some of those like sci-fi tech movies, or like a military movie or like a mobster movie. Is like you hit somebody where it hurts, or you would change things about their lives in the background that would cause them to struggle, and then you would get the desired result that you want out of that person. And in this day and age, it's kind of hard to tell what's what anymore. It really is difficult because there's so much control and there's so much technology, and it's so easy to hack and track people's information. You don't know if you're actually being abused behind the scene by a narcissist, or are you just consuming so much data that your mind is just playing tricks on you. You don't know. So this video's getting long. Let's check out this pizza. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff, That wonderful air fryer. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it. It's pretty good too. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe, and I'm gonna talk about this some more. I've had some time to work on things, and obviously talking through it is one of those things that is helping me the most. And I'm going to say this last before I go. Whether or not you've been through trauma, or whether or not you feel like you've been through trauma, whether or not you feel like a crime has been done to you, because we all know this happens to people too. There are victims in the world, real victims. There's people who just make the wrong turn in life. Either way, it's very important that you speak, because in 2025, we have AI going, crazy, going ballistic everywhere. You know what I mean? There's all these AI programs you can run. The only thing that makes you is you. So speaking about what you've been through or what's happening in your life, talking about it, is the only real way you're going to work through anything. It's also the only way that you're going to meet people who may have been through the same things that you went through in your life. It's the only way that you're going to heal and move forward. Some people are victims, like maybe a family member was murdered and they never find out who did it. Or maybe they do find out who did it and they have to go through like a long, lengthy trial and process, and it's very emotionally stressing. Some people make a bunch of money and then they lose it. Some people make a bunch of money and then they stay rich. And it destroys their life. You know what I mean? Like, all of us have like our own traumas and things that happen to us during our lives. But opening up and speaking about it, and not being afraid of what other people think, is what actually makes you a human being. And in this day and age, it's really hard to discern between the two, because social media is so fake. We only show parts of our lives that depict us in the best light, and everybody's trying to market themselves and sell. And obviously, sex sells on the internet, as it always has. And there's all this competition to be the best looking, the smartest, have the best job, the best car, the best clothes, the best cologne, the best of everything, to be, savvy and smart, and have the best psychological tactics on how to approach whatever it is that you're going for in life. And it just adds so much, excuse me, it adds so much to our daily life, that sometimes we all just want to simplify it and make it easier. even though it's tough on all of us. And for those of you who know about what I'm talking about, or those of you who might watch this video and feel that, hey, I don't think that you're crazy. Some of that stuff that you said there, is actually true. And for some of those of you who do believe that I'm crazy, then, like I said, I respect that too, because only you know what you've been through. And that goes for everybody. Only you know what you've been through. And that's why speaking about it is the most important thing, because if you don't, you'll internalize that and you'll turn against yourself. And that's the thing that actually ends up destroying your life. If you go outside and there's bird poop on your car, right? Your mind can rationalize that and say, oh, a bird pooped on my car. That stinks. I got to go get washed off. But you could also feel, depending on whatever you're going through, whatever it could be happening in your life at your time, you could also believe like, oh, it's my neighbor. He's always feeding those birds, and he makes them come over here. He's doing it just so they poop on my car. You see what I'm saying? So I know we all go through it, and I know that we all sometimes react negatively to the fact that we have cameras everywhere now, and all of our lives can be monitored and tracked, and some of us react to it negatively. Some of us feel that maybe things were done to us maliciously. Some of us actually have had things done to us maliciously, and it's that thin line and that gray area that is basically the basis of me making this video. If there is some truth to it, you hope that someone comes forward to confirm it. Otherwise, just talk about it, and move forward with your life, because surely somebody's going to be out there. What is there? 8 billion people on the planet now. So whatever you've gone through in life, I mean, it's going to be almost impossible that there isn't at least 100,000 people who have gone through something similar. So that's why I made this video. And I know I don't post much anymore, but I'll try and do it again. I'll see you guys soon, all right? Have a good night. Time to eat this pizza. Mm-hmm.